Hello, my sexy true art believers. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. This is Pierson here. I am the number one live art streamer in the world, and you are watching 400 Days of Drawing. And today is day 400. That is amazing, folks. I can't believe it. I've done 400 consecutive live art streams. Some bad, some good, some great, some really, really bad, some gosh awful, like just terrible. So I've had the whole gamut. So anyways, today we're going to be working on this portrait that I've been kind of playing around with for the past month or two, and it's going to be like this for a long while, unfortunately, until something changes in my life where I am able to do an hour-long live stream, a 2-hour-long live stream. But right now, all I can kind of muster out is a 30-minute live stream and cut it short. And it's one of those things. I really don't have the luxury of extended live streams. So anyways, today we're going to work on this for a little bit. I'm going to talk about some things that I've been kind of pondering. And they're not going to be very coherent because it's late, and as I always say, when I do a live stream late, I have half my foot is already in the bed, right? Anyways, or is it the other way around? Okay. Anyways, let's begin. I'm just kind of like filibustering for no reason. Alrighty then, how are you doing? Anyways, we're gonna set my little timer on here, and we're gonna begin. I gotta do a few few checks here. So I got my this here. I want to make sure that my brush is soft round. That's good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to close brushes. I'm going to make sure that I'm on dresses. And now let's go ahead and zoom in real quick. We're going to zoom in right here. It's going to zoom in like this, zoom in even more. And we're going to before we even begin. No, we're not going to even do that. We're just going to zoom in, and we're going to hit the ground running on this area right here. So these areas, if I can get 4 squares done today, I think that'll be a good day. A real good day, actually. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do 4 good squares, and we're just going to go ahead and hit the ground running. And it's going to be kind of, oh my goodness, really, really kind of slow for these squares, because I'm really tired, and the fatigue levels is going to it is going to slow down or impede my progress with the live stream or with the drawing itself. you know. So what you saw me doing is I'm just kind of using the eyedrop tool to kind of pick up color here, and or pick up value ranges, and I'm trying to kind of get a jump start on the tones of where I need to go with, or like the value ranges that I'm looking for. And that's what I'm gonna be doing, is I'm just gonna tweak around and playing around with the tones here, and it's gonna be very slow. It's gonna be very, very slow, um, because if you watched or listened to my last live stream, which was yesterday, or actually this morning, I was doing a very, very late live stream. I was caught up in work, and I wanted to maintain my live stream regardless of how I felt, regardless, because I could have easily have went to bed and just tried to like play catch up, and I want to so bad. You ever like you ever you ever been in those situations where you're so tired that even your eyes feel like lead, like they feel like heavy? You can feel them like closing in on you. And that's what I feel like right now, because I had that late live stream, early morning live stream today, and I went to bed and I woke up at like 5. So I had like 3 hours sleep, and I've been going at it. And here we go again. It's midnight. right? So it's really, really frustrating to do these live streams when you're kind of playing kind of playing catch up, you know? And whenever you're doing these live streams and you're at like a mental deficit, it makes it really, really difficult. Because I really do feel the fatigue happening. Like my eyes are like heavy. Um, I'm yawning every 5 seconds and all that kind of stuff. And I wanted to kind of, which is kind of a shame because I wanted to kind of talk about this idea of habit stacking, and it's been something I've been trying to perfect, not perfect, but like implement for a long while. And this isn't my idea. This is from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And what it essentially means is what it entails essentially is you forming a stream of habits that coincide one after the other, or they just kind of move one after the other regarding like after one habit that you formed, you begin and do a new chain of habits. Um, and really what it really kind of means is like kind of systemizing your actions so that you are able to accomplish more within a day, you know. And that was what I was trying to kind of talk about yesterday to some degree of success, to probably more so on like the I was probably not really successful at all at it, but like to some degree of success where you are able to accomplish some things that you were seeking to do. You ever like wonder how people like these there's certain individuals that are able just to like get a lot done in a day. It's not because they're just better at things. It's because and not because they're just better at scheduling things. It's they have a kind of like system. They've systematized how to do things in like progressive order, you know. Um, so like they've kind of taken the mental burden of those actions and reduced them to like step by steps essentially. Oh, these are going to take a long time. I'm doing these like squares at like snail speed. Uh it is what it is, really. So I guess like what I'm trying to say is like some for example, for me, get home from work. I uh do like these back exercises that I do to kind of like basically maintain mobility and to keep my back more flexible. So I do those just for overall health. So it's like kind of like just like a side fitness thing that I do. Um, so I do that, and after that, I I start by cleaning the counter and cleaning my coffee cup, like my coffee pot, and I refill that coffee pot and I set the coffee pot to brew at 5 in the morning, and then I just go ahead and clean the entire counter. I clean the dishes that are in the sink, and I put those dishes in the dishwasher, and then after I do that, I sit down, I upload a bunch of like I post a time lapse video to all my social media platforms. Then I play a couple rounds of Clash Royale because that's enjoyable to me. And then if I have done my live stream, I can probably go to bed. Or if I haven't done my live stream, much to my chagrin, like today, I go upstairs and do my set up the live stream. Then I go to bed. So that's like a stream of actions that like happen in sequence one after the other. And the reason why I do that is like it's like a set of code or set of laws that I follow by, and that way I know what I need to be doing at any given point of in time. It's not because I want to like make myself boring. It's because um, it allows me to know what I need to do. Um, what I need, like it allows for a simplified evening, and it's like standardizes my night routine. And if I think if you can kind of like if you can um if you can establish a morning and night routine where you know what you're going to be doing in the morning and you know what you're going to be doing in the evening before like when you wake up and when you go to bed, I think you're able like the rest of your day kind of falls into place, you know. I have a pretty like I have a pretty like set morning routine. Like I know where I'm going to be, what I'm going to be doing, and I have a general idea. And I have a general idea if I'm going to when I'm going to be done. Like it can sometimes. Usually, what happens though, it usually takes me about all the way to about noon to get everything done, and I'm okay with that as long as I know that. Uh, as long as I know that that's just part of the process. Um, Sometimes the plans, best laid plans, don't go all the way. They don't fall. You don't like. You're not able to achieve the plans or your set schedule as quickly as you thought you would, because sometimes things just take longer, and that's okay. But I know that my schedule is going to be preoccupied till about noon every day. Um, and I'm okay with that. There's something nice about knowing where you're going to be at, um, because it shows that you have like control of like your destiny of sorts, or like control over your time. Um, and I know that sounds like silly. Like people think like, oh, if you regiment your time that way, you don't really have any free time. You don't have the ability to do new things or to enjoy your time. And I think that's um, not true. I think being able to manage your time more effectively, efficiently, opens up more time because now you know where to place activities or to schedule times to meet up with friends, and as opposed to before where you're like, um, what's when are you available? Like I don't know, like whenever, just like contact me and we can do something at this time. And then that they contact you, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm not free that time at that day. And you're like, wait a second, you set out you can contact anytime. Like, no, no, I'm just not free anymore. I think the reason why people don't schedule things anymore is because they can like back they like they're always looking for like a the next big thing, like the better opportunity or the like event opportunity for the day. Uh like if you don't make hard plans with a friend, you know, and you say like, I don't know, maybe you say something along like, "Hey man, you want to go bowling Friday night at right at like 7?" Like, maybe I might be free. And then Friday night happens, and people like your friend ask again, "Hey, did you think about it? Would you want to come bowling with us this Friday night?" And then all of a sudden you got another text from another friend saying, "Hey, I'm having a party, and there's free booze and um, free booze and pizza." And you're like, that sounds a lot better than going bowling that I have to pay for, and if I want pizza I have to pay for that as well. And so like you decide that you go to that party instead. And you know, we're always like kind of getting this fear of missing out type of mentality where like we don't schedule any hard plans anymore because we want to leave our like quote unquote metaphorical symbolical calendar open just in case something more entertaining or fun uh, falls in your lap. And like people don't like scheduling things because they think it's hindering, you know. And I used to be like that. Like I used to like wait till I used to kind of keep my schedule free. And it turns out that because I kept my schedule free, I would usually end up doing nothing that night because no one would have any plans. No one ever had any plans. They didn't schedule anything. They didn't have anything that they had that they wanted to do, and because of that, you never like nothing ever happened. People wouldn't do the things that you thought they do. You thought that they thought you thought that they were going to like have a get together because they talked about it that week, so you kind of tentatively kept your schedule open because you thought that they were going to have people over, and then or have a like they're going to have a party, and then all of a sudden they didn't have a party because they decided like after the week, after working real hard throughout the week, I just didn't want to the hassle of s- basically getting uh, booze and like ordering pizza and all that kind of stuff. I didn't want to pay for it, basically. And you're like, oh, well, I thought I left my schedule open for that. Like, really, you didn't leave your schedule open. You just didn't want to schedule anything. If you had scheduled with that person, said, hey, man, I'm gonna come to that party that you're talking about. I'm gonna put that in my calendar. If you had done that, you probably would have been at that party because that person would have felt obligated to, have that party. But I think maintaining a structure um, is a net positive, and part of that structure can be from habit stacking, where you create a sequence of habits that follow one after the other. You know, it's like I guess an example would be you wake up at 7 o'clock, you make your bed. After you make your bed, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, or you take a shower and then you brush your teeth. It doesn't really matter which sequence you do. It doesn't really matter if you go brush your teeth first or if you take a shower first. Either or. Like let's just say that you take a shower first, then you brush your teeth, then you put clothes on, then you go downstairs, you drink a cup of coffee, and you look at your calendar after you drink a coffee. You have breakfast, you write down. I don't know. I don't. That's a like a stream of actions that I didn't even. I wouldn't. That's not like what I would do. I don't. I would. I don't do that. Anyways, I'm kind of like really slow today. Actually, I'm really slow at this. So if you're expecting miracles with this drawing, um, yeah, don't because I'm I'm kind of fatigued just enough that I it's slowing my processing, my ability to render and process ideas and process like value and and such. But I'm also trying to talk at the same time, so I'm really slow. Oh my gosh. Um, just like before, just like last night where I was talking about automating your life, I was kind of talking about habit stacking essentially, where you're just doing a sequence of actions one after the other. And I can't really explain it any other way other than that. Like you just know what you're gonna do at what time and you're gonna do it. Um, and it doesn't have to be like you don't have to struck have a set of habits that runs throughout the entire day. But I think having habits that you do in the morning and in the evening at night allows you to be better at managing your time throughout the day and knowing what to do, um, because you're able to kind of decide on what you would like to do throughout the day because there's certain times of the day that you already have kind of allocated for certain activities. And you can do that for anything. you know um, Maybe you want to, if you want to this is from the book Atomic Habits. I like you want to read more. So what you do is you have a couple of books next to your coffee machine that you can sit down and read while you drink your coffee before you go to work, or I don't know, something like that. Or you have a newspaper. It doesn't matter. You have your tablet or your Nook. Is it a Nook? I don't know what they call them these days. I don't have that stuff. I don't look at that kind of stuff. I don't need it. Anyways, I don't know. I'm going to think of ways. I need to think of ways to talk about this idea a little bit more thoroughly. Just like last night, I'm running in like what I'm kind of running into is kind of like I'm just explaining the same thing over and over again. Um, but it's been something I've been working at, and I think it's been very helpful. It allows me to do a lot more throughout the day. Um, and I like it because now the house is getting a little bit more organized. There's and when the cleaner the house that I'm in, the cleaner that the space that you're living in generally means that you probably have you're less anxious unless you're one of those individuals that likes being in kind of like clutter. Some people like that stuff, but like a lot of people don't because there's a psychological thing that occurs where you have if your house is messy, then your life is in chaos in a essentially, and you're it kind of like it becomes a symbol, like it's like a metaphor. It's like a metaphor, or there's some symbolism suggesting that like your the the appearance of your house is a metaphor for of how much in control you have in your life. So like if you have like a messy house, there's a probability that your life in general is kind of in disarray. Like you're not able to manage even the most simplest of of activities or like actions, which is basically or cleaning up your house. And that's hard. It's hard to clean up your house. It's hard to maintain it. It really is. It really is. It's a vast understatement. Um, I think it's I think if you see someone with a really clean house, you really got to appreciate what they have to say, like their lifestyle a little bit. Because I would go to friends' houses, I'd see their house, their house was immaculate, and it really said a lot to me. I was like, man, how do they maintain such a clean house? And I think part of it is just the habit of cleaning either before or after, or yeah, the clean habit of cleaning up after yourself after everything, or setting up a time that you actually clean um, your house and being ritualistic with it, like habitual with it. I think there is something to be said about that because like, there's something I really appreciate about just maintaining cleanliness in the house because it shows that you care about your things, you care about um these objects, and I don't always practice what I preach, and I understand it completely because it's very difficult to maintain a clean house. You know, it's so easy to kind of let your house get in disarray, and I do feel like there's a symbolism there where like when my house is like chaotic, like there's no like it's disorganized, disheveled, it's dirty. I feel like at that time my personal life is actually in disarray as well. Like I'm struggling mentally, psychologically to kind of just maintain some sort of order and sense in my life, you know? And so like that is why I appreciate a good clean house. And it's hard to do because what it means is what it means when you have a clean house is that you're sacrificing uh, like entertainment, you're sacrificing uh, hobby time, you're sacrificing spending time with friends and family. so that you can maintain that. There is sacrifice involved in doing those things. And so even though you might not think that, there is sacrifice in doing keeping a clean house. And I completely understand why or how people can get a house that is in disarray, you know? And I'm not really I don't really think it's a bad thing. I'm not like thinking it's a positive or negative thing, but like, I think people would benefit from maintaining a um a clean house. Another thing that kind of comes from this is it reminds me of the this quote that I heard from a excuse me, like a military general or a colonel. I don't know what his rank was, but he had like a huge like lecture speech on the importance of making your bed in the morning. And the reason why he expressed that it was important is because if everything else goes wrong in your day, like you had a bad day, like you weren't able to get anything done, like everything went awry, right? The thing that you could say that you accomplished for that day is that at least you made your bed. At least you did one good act or one good action that put you in the right direction for the day. And generally, if you do an action that is positive in nature, generally it spawns more positive actions. So that's why I'm starting to think that this habit stacking thing has a kind of like a systemic effect where okay, now I'm cleaning the countertop. Now I'm going to start organizing the area around the countertop because now the countertop's been cleaned. It's cleaner than normal, and I don't. It doesn't even take a lot of time to clean it now. Before, when I first started, it took a lot of time because I had to do a lot of work to kind of get it to a certain level. But now, because I've been maintaining that cleanliness in that area, I don't have to spend as much time cleaning it. You ever notice how like it's easier to kind of maintain a clean area than to clean an area that is really really dirty because you let it go. Like it just takes less energy because there's less things to do in that particular area that you worked on. You know, I don't know. I think I'm doing pretty good. I'm going kind of slow today, and that's just because of fatigue. It's late. I've had a long day. Really have. Oh, excuse me. I only had like 3 hours sleep, and I'm just like going through the motions. The thing about doing these live streams for so long now that even if I am at this level of exhaustion, like fatigue, I can still kind of execute the live stream without like too much of a worry for bombing. Even though I do bomb um, from time to time, I do like have a couple lemons from here, like here and there, you know. But if you have a bunch of lemons, you can always make lemonade. So eventually, through time, and I don't know where I was going with that chain of thought. That's part of the 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 problem of doing these live streams so late is the the act of doing them so late and just how the fatigue that you accrue throughout the day starts compounding. And the later you do a live stream, the later that you do like complex actions. And I'm not saying these are complex actions, but they definitely require a little bit of mental RAM and mental hard drive space to achieve. So like just doing these grid drawings, it takes a little bit of my hardware. Is it hardware? Like mental capacity. I'm trying to make analogies w- between the brain and like computer hardware, like GPU, RAM, random access memory, your CPU, you know. So I'm trying to make those analogies because I think it's a like a good analogy. I just can't seem to like dial them in. All right, so I think that's it for the day. I'm gonna zoom out. So I did pretty good. I think I did 3 squares. I don't know. Um, but before I go, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna X these a little bit. I'm gonna go to the X area, and we're gonna go and we're gonna just kind of X out these areas that I've worked on. You know, just kind of X them out so I know which ones I've done. This one, this one, this one, this one. Um, I'm okay with these. I think I can come back to this one, maybe tweak it a little bit. I feel like that might be a little dark. But I think we're moving forward. Tomorrow I am going to I'm going to do a cactus drawing. So I'm excited about that because it's a good break. And then the next day it's going to be figure drawing, figure studies. I believe I'm going to do the male figure for about 3 days, and then I'll be back to doing this grid drawing. Um, yeah, it just takes baby steps, and it takes baby steps, and hopefully at the end of the day, there's going to be some growth out of this. And I'm taking baby steps with my um, habit stacking and trying to automate certain actions throughout the day. And hopefully there'll be a tipping point where I'll get to this point where I'm doing my live streams consistently around noon. I've been trying to do that, but it's been erratic at best, and it's often been delegated to the end of the day, which is very catastrophic for me because it really wrecks the next day for me because it usually means I'm going to be up for an extra hour to 2 hours longer just to do a live stream that's 30 minutes. Anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Day 400 tomorrow. It's going to be a new series, 500 days of drawing. I'm going to see if I can do another 100 days. Uh, I try to do 100 days at a time because it's long enough that it's impressive, but it's not so long that it seems overwhelming. If I jumped in at this and say I want to do 1,000 days of live streams, 1,000 consecutive live streams, I would be like, no, that's just too much. I can't even fathom that. So I started out with 100 because I think that's like over like 3 months and some change, and I think you can do that with just like some discipline. Of course, it's going to be hard. It takes some perseverance, but I think it's like a manageable amount of time. I think, in all honesty, doing a month at a time is probably safer and more manageable for like the average person. But the thing is, I want to be a little bit above average. I want to be uh, um, extraordinary in the sense that I'm doing these 100-day lots of live streams. Anyways, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. I hope you get some rest. I am about to get as much rest as I can before I hit the ground running again tomorrow. I'm really excited about doing another cactus drawing. So, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Cheers.